good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Welcome to the Entrepreneurs Globally Unite weekly Work Together Wednesday Facebook Blab number 13, lucky 13. Today I have a very special guest from Denmark. Her name is Céleste. Céleste is the brand protector. And the reason why I've asked Céleste to talk with us today is to find out why we need brand protection, what the basics are of that need, and how to go about it in the simplest possible terms. And I've been watching Céleste online for quite some time. We've had some lovely conversations. She's a member of our community, an active one and a valued one. So what I'd like to do is pass over to Céleste, introduce you and welcome you, Céleste, and thank you for your time and for joining us today. And have you just share a little bit about how you come about to be doing what you do so well.
Thank you, Michelle. What an introduction. I am almost speechless. I don't know what to say. Well, it's true. I am the brand protector. I sit and watch people, not knowing what to do with regard to brand protection or copyright, and people become overwhelmed by the legalistic terminologies. And because I studied the law and I really, really enjoyed it, I'm here to help out. You sort of just the basic trademark registration, and I give advice regarding copyrights as well. But I'm in the middle of developing IP mentoring, so this is really an exciting time for me, you see. And I will be able to do this very, very shortly, and really, take hand of my client and really make sure that they don't need to worry about anything. Because that is my main thing, leave it to me and you're in safe hands.
Celeste, what is the importance of brand protection? Is it as important for a solopreneur as opposed to a large corporation?
Absolutely. It is imperative. It is paramount, because if you do not protect your brand, then somebody else is going to nick it from you, and they will be able to market themselves under your brand, and then you will not reap the economic benefits. That is not something you want, because you have worked so hard for your brand and your business, and you do not want not to be the one reaping the economic benefits. Am I right?
Oh, I understand that completely. So what is the very first step that one must undertake to protect their brand?
The very first step is to contact somebody like me and make sure that brand is trademarkable, because not everything is trademarkable. In a lot of companies like Coco Chanel, the fashion designers, their brands are connected to themselves and their name, which is absolutely fine. But recently in Denmark, we have had a development that makes it really, really difficult for people to register their name as their brand.
Wow.
Yes, so that is why consulting somebody like me is so important, because you cannot be sure that that is a possible thing for you to do, and that you can't be sure that that is not something that is going to spread to the rest of the world. The good thing about intellectual property, as we call it, because it starts inside your head, that is why we call it intellectual property, is that the legislation is more or less the same all over the world. Because I can very easily say the overview of this is such and such, and then when I have the client, I will go into detail with them, of course, and I will look into their legislation to make sure that I know what I'm speaking about. But in general, it's the same all over the world. So that's the easy part for me. But you need to be aware of what you are doing and what your brand is, because not everything is trademarkable, so to speak. So not everything can be made into a trademark. Something may be too generic. That means that it's too ordinary a term. You know, a very good example of something that is not generic is Apple for a tech business.
Yeah.
So we all know what Apple is. It's that huge corporation founded by Steve Jobs. Exactly. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
Good. Because he chose the name Apple, had he had a fruit business, he would not be able to use Apple for that, because that would be generic. But for a tech business, and Nokia is another phone business. So if I was to say, you know, I'm a legal consultant, so if I said, well, okay, so my business name is going to be Céleste Refn, which is my full name, and it's really difficult for you English-speaking people to pronounce it. I'm really, really sorry about that. That is why I've gone with the brand protector for myself. But if I was to say legal services or something, you know, that would be too generic, so I wouldn't be able to register it. Do you catch my drift? This is what I'm going to offer with my clients, that I sit down with them, for instance, in a Skype conversation or in a Zoom conversation, and we sit down and we talk about the business and what is special about it, and then we have a conversation about what would you love as a brand name for your business.
Massive important step for someone to do.
Absolutely.
Earlier.
And you need a legal person in that process, because if not, you risk finding something and then it's not trademarkable, and that is what I want to avoid, because that is so expensive. You know, hiring a lawyer. You see, I'm not a lawyer. I did the training at the university, but then I didn't do the last 3 years here in Denmark that are required for you to become a lawyer. But I come across a lot of people who don't trust the lawyers. So it's actually to your and my benefit that I'm not, because you will be able to trust me easier. So it's a lawyer. You don't know what the money is going to cover. It can be the huge mansion they have where their offices are, so not mentioned, the huge office block, you know, downtown, either in Sydney or in Melbourne or in Copenhagen, and you don't know what the money is going to. With me, I have a virtual office. You know that the money is going to me, and then the official registration is something that is on top of my work. So you know that the services that you get from me is me helping you out. So yeah, and it's really important for me also that there is transparency. I want you to be able to feel safe in my hands, so to speak. And I want you also to feel confident being able to go out there and play it big and shine with your business, you know, because we all have messages that the world needs, and our ideal clients will find us because our beacon will shine brightly. So these are all important things, you know, not just for me, but also for you and for everybody else. And trademark is such an important part of that. And trademark is the twin side of brand, so to speak.
There's no point spending an enormous amount of time and money before you know that it is trademarkable.
Yeah, exactly. And that is why I offer this to the world. You know, I'm available, and I have a certain amount of creativity in me, because my mother was an artist and my father's father was an artist. So you see, there are artistic sides to me too, and not just the legal side. And my mother's father was the one who founded a huge local legal business here in Copenhagen called Reumert and Partner originally, and now it's called Kromann Reumert. So it's even more difficult for you to pronounce. I'm sorry about that. So you see, I have both traits in me, and they cannot be denied. So yes, absolutely.
A question on the back of that, Céleste, is what happens if you don't register a trademark?
Yeah, Exactly. They can steal it, and then they will be the ones that reap all the economic benefits, and you don't want that. You want you to reap the economic benefits.
Yes.
I mean, you worked so hard for what you have. I mean, you definitely don't want somebody else to reap that benefit. You know, you want you to do that.
Next question. Can we talk copyright for a minute, please? What can we use? What can't we use? What happens if you find, like I have, my logo on someone else's site?
Because in Denmark, you can actually start using your logo, and then that becomes a trademark just by using it. But that is not the case in other countries. Sorry. So that is unique to Denmark. The minute you start using your logo in Denmark, then it's yours legally. But in the other countries, you have to actually register it. Copyright is for your written content. So if somebody steals material that you have written and starts using it without, in any way, shape or form, making it their own, you can quote something, but then you need to do it, you know, a quite small piece, and then incorporate it into something that you have done yourself. Then that is a quotation, and you always have to say where you got the quote from.
Yes, of course.
But written content is something that as soon as it's something you have written, some people will say that you can't do anything originally, and that's not true, because you always have your own way of twisting things so that it's your thumbprint on it. So it's really, really important with regard to copyright. And copyright is something that is created automatically, and what you can do to protect it is on your website or your Facebook page, right, this is protected by the laws of copyright. Write something about that it's protected by the copyright laws that are governing the entire universe, so to speak. I mean, that is a bit over the top, but something like that, you know, and then have somebody like me look it over just to make sure that it is actually legally correct.
So the little C, the copyright C, is that all you need? Just the little
yeah. And something else that you could do to consider your logo a trademark is put the TM, you know, the little letters next to it.
Yes, but to do that you have to have it trademark approved. Yes?
No, that's the R.
Okay.
The R in the circle is the one that signals that it has been registered by the trademark authorities. But the TM is you saying that I regard this as my trademark. That is why I put the TM.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got you. Wow, lots of little questions answered there, and really, as we said straight up at the top of the call, super important for solopreneurs right through to large corporations. I'm sure the larger corporations have the legalities in place, but you know,
not all of them do. Not all of them do. I mean, some people put it on back burner, you see, and think, oh, you know. But most of them do. When they reach a certain sort of size, then somebody else is going to say, look, you really need to be careful here. People have a tendency to think that it's just for somebody like Richard Branson and Steve Jobs, but remember that all those businesses started somewhere.
They did. Yes.
As far as I remember, Jobs started in a garage. Am I right?
There are a lot of stories of very, very well-to-do people that
exactly. And it's no excuse, really. I'm sorry, it's no excuse. So please take your business and yourself seriously by contacting somebody like, it doesn't have to be me, because there's work enough for all of us out there.
Yeah, cool.
But please do it, because you will suffer if you don't, and your business will suffer, and your community in turn will suffer.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's no reason not to do it.
What is someone looking at for a ballpark figure to trademark, to have the conversation with you, to find the right trademark, to have it registered, and your services to pay for?
Well, my trademark package, that is £1,000, British pound sterling.
Right.
And the trademark intensive that I'm going to offer will be somewhere in the ballpark of £2,000.
Okay, and does that include your IP mentoring, or is that something similar?
That is the IP mentoring.
The IP mentoring, okay, that's what I thought.
And there's going to be a third twist to that, where I invite a bunch of people with me, and we go to a hotel and we do some work on intellectual property, brand protection and copyright, and then there is the possibility for people to do self-care, to book, wellness while they're there. So I'm doing that as a whole package. You see,
that's beautiful.
And then in the evening we will eat lunch together while we work on the intellectual property. Then there will be time to do the self-care, because I see that as such an important part of not just your self-care, but as the business care. Because if you're not there and if you're not thriving, then you will not be able to play it big. And then you will not be able to sort of do the best for your business and the best for your clients. So I'm doing this that is my third leg to my business.
That's beautiful.
So exciting times, as you can tell.
I think you might have to change your tagline from the brand protector to the holistic brand protector. It's certainly a beautiful, beautiful combination and package that you offer. So you're protecting entrepreneurs and business owners.
Absolutely.
So let's just pull this together for people that want to work with you.
Yeah, they can go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/grandipr in one with capital letters.
Yeah.
And
your website.
grandipr.dk.
Yep. Beautiful.
So 3 W's in front of that, and then grandipr.dk. Yeah.
Perfect. And just fill out the contact form from there and come through and connect.
Yes.
Okay, so step 1 is to find out if your brand is trademarkable.
Mm-hmm.
Step 2 is to either make it trademarkable with your services or move forward and acquire
step
your
3.
services to make that happen. And step 3 is to sit back and celebrate.
Yeah. Once it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. So people can do it themselves, I'm quite sure, with a lot of headache.
They can do it with headache. I have, for the Danish market, I have a guide. I haven't got anything for either UK, US, or Australia. But I know that there is guidance on the authorities, the respective authorities' websites. There is a guidance for you to do it yourself. But if you don't want to do it because it is a bit of a headache and you don't know if you're choosing the right niche classifications, do you?
That's right.
That is something that you need to know. What is a niche classification? And you don't necessarily know that. And so you just sit back and think, oh my goodness, am I doing this in the correct amount of classes? Because, depending on what type of business you have, you may want more than one class. And this is what I do. This is what I love, you see.
That's perfect. And
I want you to feel peace of mind while I do it for you. Because that is what my former clients have felt.
If that is right out of people's ballpark, being a startup business and a brand new entrepreneur, what would your advice be to check out a cheaper option until they can afford the services of someone such as yourself?
Put the TM behind the name.
Okay.
You have the logo and put the TM. That is the cheapest way to do it.
Okay, and of course, look after your own content with your little copyright.
Absolutely.
Well.
And this, but it's not. You can't do any legal steps without the protection in place. I'm sorry to say that.
Yes.
Because you're not properly protected, so they can't even go to court for you or anything.
I mean, obviously, the more protection we can have as business owners, the safer we are, and the more confidently we can move forward into bigger business.
Exactly.
Wow. Celeste, is there any parting advice you'd like to share with our community, Entrepreneurs Globally Unite, or any future clients that are sitting here listening and looking at you and thinking, wow, I need her help?
I know that it's a certain amount of money, and I know that it can feel daunting, but trust me, it's worth it, because you will feel so much better once you've started the process. You know, because I don't want any of you to suffer in your businesses. I mean, I had to close my first business because I ran into somebody who made me agree to a deal I didn't want to agree to, and I don't want anybody else to experience that. You know, I want you all to be able to benefit from your businesses, because that's why you have it in the first place. You don't want to feel lost the way I did with my first business. You want to be confident. You want to move out there and be happy and take on clients and know that your brand is protected. That is just so important. And I know it's daunting. It was for me too. But let's all be honest and accept that there are just certain things that we need to have in place. And the legal side is one of them. And this is one of the most important sides to our businesses, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. And Celeste, on that note of passion I just saw come out of you, I would not hesitate to hire you for my brand protection and trademark services. And that's what I love to see in entrepreneurs. If your heart is there, your service will be exemplary. So I would love to just thank you for your time, invite people to look you up. How do we find you, Celeste? Make it nice and clear for everybody.
I know it's difficult. It's www.grandipr.dk. It's a Danish site, so that's why it's .dk.
That's perfect.
And they can find me on Facebook as well. So that's facebook.com/grandipr.
Perfect. I know we'll find you. And if all else fails, lovely people, join our online community at Entrepreneurs Globally Unite on Facebook. Celeste is a very trusted and valued member of our community, and you can connect with her and me, for that matter, through that. So
thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for sharing your words of wisdom and your protection for our businesses. Thank you, Celeste, the brand protector. I look forward to helping you grow your business. I look forward to seeing you. Group. You're very welcome. You'll find me, anybody that's looking for a mindset and energy coach, at $1,000,000mindset.com. My name is Michelle Reinhardt, and we have a community hub for spiritual entrepreneurs, and it is well worth jumping in and joining us. We are one of a kind. There's absolutely no doubt about that. So thank you. And for anyone that's watching and joining us, thank you for your time. Enjoy your day and shine bright, because that's what you're here to do. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.